Hmm. Yes. This news dropped the day after last week's stream. We talked about last week with Henry Cavill going back to play Superman again.
Hmm.
Uh, and then not long after that, we found out that that he was leaving The Witcher, the Netflix Witcher series, after the third season, and taking over the role of Geralt is going to be the lesser Hemsworth brother. um, but and so a lot of people thought that when it was announced that he wasn't going back to The Witcher, they thought, oh well, he's leaving The Witcher because he's playing Superman again. There's a
Hmm.
scheduling conflict there.
Right.
Yeah, and but apparently that wasn't the case. And a big reason why he's actually leaving the show is because the people working on it are not being faithful to the original source material, i.e., the books and the video games.
Yeah. So X-Men 97 head writer Bo DeMayo recalls some writers on Netflix's The Witcher actively mocked the source materials, says this mindset is a recipe for disaster and bad morale.
Hmm. Yeah, and apparently I think Cavill actually pushed back on some of that, pushed back a little bit on that with some of the stuff they were doing with Geralt. And and again, full disclosure, I haven't read the Witcher books. I haven't played any of the games, so I don't really know anything about the lore of that franchise. I did watch. Let me just check this real quick. Okay, I did watch the first season of Witcher. I liked Cavill, but I thought the season as a whole was very meh. Didn't really like it very much, and then I got like 2 episodes into season two and gave up.
It kind of sounds like they take one of the other characters and make her the main, from what I've heard, but I get that
Yeah,
accusation a lot when it turns out not to necessarily be true.
no, that's pretty true. Yeah,
Okay,
Yennefer.
that's it.
Yeah. And yeah, apparently what they did with that character was not at all like how she is in the source material. Um,
Of course.
yeah, um, and and apparently Cavill only took the role of Geralt on the condition that they would be faithful to the source material.
Mm.
Because and for those of you who most of you probably know this about him, he's a big nerd. He's a big
Yeah.
geek. Yeah.
I think I heard that he was like in the middle of a big World of Warcraft session when he got cast as Superman, so he missed the
Yeah.
call.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, and and he's a big Warhammer 40K guy. He played the Witcher games, so he's familiar with the Witcher. He's familiar with the character of Geralt, and it sounds like he's more familiar with it than the people working on the show.
Or they're familiar with it, and that is bred contempt.
Yes, yes, and from and if the obviously that's if that's the case with the Witcher, it explains why the show isn't very good.
Yeah, I noticed that there were a lot of like memes about give a coin to your Witcher and stuff during the first season,
Hmm.
and then that has completely died down. There isn't even people complaining about it like there were in season two.
Yeah, the only things the only things coming out of season one that were like like they were good were like you were saying the toss a coin for your Witcher, and then of course seeing Henry Cavill in a bathtub.
Which that's some people's thing, not mine, but
That's
each their own.
yeah. It's not mine either, but it gets the ladies interested.
Yep.
Yeah. Um, but um, but yeah, it's it's kind of a just emblematic of everything, and it kind of ties in with what we were just talking about before with Namor.
Hmm.
You're taking something that is well known, well established, and you're just completely tossing that out the window and doing something that isn't going to work, and it's only going to actually, and will alienate the people that like this, that like this property in the first place.
Hmm. Right. Which, like, say what you will about Black Adam. From everything I've heard, it does not do that.
Hmm.
I've heard people say that they love this take on Doctor Fate,
Mm.
among other things. Also, this gives me actually some real hope for that X-Men '97 show, just because if
Yeah.
that's the attitude of the head writer, then that's a good sign.
Yeah.
I think I
Yeah.
heard that they actively said, if you weren't a fan of this show, sorry.
Yeah. 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 I'm cautiously optimistic now.
Yes, it's
Mm.
which is rare for a Disney property.
Yes. But yeah, I mean, good on Cavill for standing up for that. Standing up for the the Witcher source material, and obviously there was some creative differences, as they like to say in Hollywood, and he just said, okay, well, I'm out.
Screw you guys, I have Superman money.
Yeah, exactly. uh, but I'm trying to. Well, I was gonna say something else about this. Can't remember.
It'll be nice
Yeah.
to actually have a Superman movie.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, an actual Superman. Not
Yes.
the Zack Snyder Superman.
Not the Man of Steel.
Yes. But yeah. Yeah. Henry Cavill's a good guy, I think.
Right. He he seems like he actually cares, which is in short
Mhm.
supply.
Yeah. Yes. Especially in the entertainment world these days.
I wonder if that's part of what's been going on with Marvel is that it's is that it seems like there was a stage where, like, okay, it's like, haha, superhero movies, what a joke. And then during that phase 2, 3 ramp up to end games, like, oh, this is a big deal to be in a Marvel thing. Let's
Mm.
I'm gonna go in there and do my best on it. And now we're kind of at a phase where it's like everyone's like, paycheck, whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm Shang-Chi, what of it?
Yeah. Yeah. It certainly has that feeling to it. Yeah. It's-
Which it's the writers who would rather be writing their own thing and are stuck on franchise stuff where they feel they need to be creative and make things their own. So I think that's a big chunk of it too.
Yeah, I think I think yeah, I think you make a good point there. Yeah, because they want to work on, yeah, like you said, their own stuff, and they're stuck working on something that they probably have zero knowledge of, and or it's maybe they have knowledge of it and they're writing their really bad fan fiction.
Yeah, I feel like that's the problem with a lot of American comics is that you have people who'd really love to be writing slice of life manga. Like that like that's what they really really want to do because they love just taking, like, they would love to write something like Dragon Maid but without with all the male gaze stuff removed. It's like, oh, we're gonna have wacky characters, and oh, wouldn't it be funny if a superhero had to deal with laundry day like the rest of us? And Uh, it's like I'm paying for an issue of Action Comics. There's no action in this Action Comics.
This blatant false advertising.
Yeah. Mr. Simpson, this might be the most flagrant case of false advertising since my suit against the Neverending Story.
Sorry.
All right, I think that's a good
Yeah.
note to end on.
Yes.
Well, I wasn't expecting the show to go quite so long, but it was a good time. Thanks everyone who commented and joined in.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you all